3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's get to 3D sculpting. So let's import our photo, our little guy here. And, and hopefully this, I never really need the whole, like to have him be forward. I mean, I guess I should learn how to do that, but like I can see this much. I can see the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I never use this sphere because it's just really big. So I'm just going to delete it and just make another one. And of course, I like to check and make sure it's orthographic, and I like to change the lighting to metcap. All right, so here we are. So first we just have to make his head, and it might be a little bit easier if we actually do it from the side. All right, so I'm gonna just validate this, and this will be his head. So I'm just gonna take move, make sure his symmetry is on, and then we can just sort of make his head shape. Make symmetry nice and big so it just kind of easily matches whatever we need. So that looks pretty good for the jaw. That actually looks pretty good for the nose part. A little bit of a bump there. Maybe it goes down here into the head. Make sure that I'm hitting right so I know I'm on the right side. So that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, that's pretty good. Back of his head is a little more round, so we can just kind of adjust that as we need. And then the body. So let's look at the front view, and obviously this isn't really correct. So let's look at the top view, and let's think about how this would be. So it would be a little bit wider maybe here, and then it would be definitely wider like around the base of the skull. And this is where you can just kind of be creative, so I think something like that looks pretty good. I think that works. So just so the head is wide. That looks good. So I'm going to add another sphere. This will be the head. So let's make sure that we rename this head. And then we can go ahead and add another sphere for the body. All right, so we'll bring this sphere out. And this will be the body. So the main belly, let's make the main belly. So let's make the bulk of it right here. So the jaw goes down, not that far, maybe to around there. So make sure you're looking at it on the right side. So the belly goes down to there. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. The head is big, but not too big. So I think maybe something like that. And then this would be the whole body. So I'm just going to go ahead and validate it. And using move, turn symmetry on. And I just want to connect this to the head. Just like this, it goes straight down. Like so. That actually looks pretty dang decent. The stomach kind of hangs a little bit, so you just kind of have to work with your move tool. But then it's nice and round down here, like it would extend down to the ground. So now let's turn it front ways. And that actually looks pretty good, but I think it might be more fun to make him a little wider. And give him like a wide neck. So we can still make it go into the head. We just want to make sure that he has a nice wide neck perhaps. So I like that. think that looks pretty good. So now for the tail, I think we'll add another sphere. Let's rename this one body. And then we'll add another sphere. And we can use the gizmo to just move it to the tail area. So we'll make it a little bit bigger. Could probably even stretch it a bit until we figure out like exactly where it's going to go. Maybe a little bit lower, something like that. And I think I want to actually, maybe I'll flatten the bottom. So I think that's pretty good. So we'll validate it. I think I tilted it somehow. That's okay. And let's actually make a ground. Let's just make like a base. So this will be the tail. So let's rename it. And so that's the tail. And now we can add, we want to add like, I kind of like to do the sphere cut in half. Let's make sure I tap right. Oh, maybe I didn't tilt this. It just kind of looks like his body is tilted, but I'm going to adjust that later. So let's bring this sphere. That's another reason why it's good to have like a base. So I'm just going to make this sphere like this, and I will validate it and then cut it in half. So I'm going to use trim. And some people ask me about trim X. It's the same as trim. There's nothing changed, actually. So there's nothing different about trim X. I think I just was editing the tools and somehow this got switched with this, which is the same. So rectangle, and I just want to cut it. I just want to make a dome, like a half dome sort of thing. So we'll do something like that. Let's remesh it. So we'll go here, voxel, let's just remesh it to like 200 or so. And then I like to use round edge on it. Just kind of round it out. If you don't have round edge or you don't want to use it, you can just smooth. Just turn on symmetry and just kind of smooth it down. Same, it's, you don't have to use the round edge. Okay, so this can be our little base. Let's go right. So now we can just take a look at everything. I don't know how, let me check my grid. Oh, the grid is all the way up there. Interesting. So I'm going to take all my pieces and move them up. I'll move them up so that this little sphere is right at the ground. And then I'll take these, the head and the body, and the tail, and let's move it down to kind of where it would be. So sort of like this. So I think that works. This might have to be a little bit bigger. So maybe something like that. All right, so it's looking pretty good so far. As far as the tail goes, I think I want to take move with symmetry, and I think I just want to kind of spread it out a little bit back here. So I want the tail to be kind of wide and then stretched out a little bit more. But I want it to go to the ground like that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now this part, we can probably use move, just make it small. And we can probably, between these two, we just need to join them. So let's take a look at the drawing. So his tail is kind of thick. So we just want to join these two. Oops, let's make sure that we're looking directly right. That way we can sort of get it get everything right. So it looks like it's smoothly going to the ground. So that looks pretty good. I actually made him a bit taller, it looks like. Somehow. I might just take the body and just shrink it a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so yeah, something like that. I kind of like how the tail gets a little wider, but I think I want it to be a little bit wider back here, and maybe I'll make this part a little bit smaller. So something like that I think is interesting. So now we have his legs. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I'll save. I'll rename it to Little Zilla. He's not really Godzilla, but I don't know. I usually just name them whatever comes to my mind. So that looks pretty good. Let's give him some little leggies and arms. So we can look at the front view, and let's just go ahead and go here. Oh, we have the sphere. Let's name this the floor. I usually use FLR. And then we'll add in, what do we want to add in? Let's do spheres. I like working with spheres. Makes things easy. Let's use our gizmo. And stretch it out a little bit and shrink. And let's look to the side. And let's kind of like look at the size. Figure out what size we want. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to shrink it this way, because it doesn't need that much. And I think that's a good place where it is as far as the tail goes. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to validate, and then I'm going to take move, and we need to sort of work on the top. And this is in a mirror. So since we hit mirror, it's inside of a mirror, so I don't actually need to have symmetry. So I want to bring the legs kind of in like this, a little bit at the top. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to pull them in so that it looks like the legs are coming off of the body. And now I want to sort of counteract this. Like I want to bring this down a little bit more, the legs, so they feel a little bit more. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. The only thing I might want to do is take the front and make the front a little bit more flat. Make sure I'm on the legs. So making the front a little bit more flat. That way, I can even maybe stretch it out a little bit. Might have to make your move tool a little bit smaller. Okay, it's not terrible. Might have to take smooth and just sort of smooth out on the inside to kind of get a little bit of the roundness back. But otherwise, I think this is pretty good. Okay. Let me back up. So I kind of like it when it's a little bit more round here. So I think I'm going to keep it that way. The bottom is still pretty good. If you want to add some more to this, so we'll if you want to add a little bit extra, you can take another sphere, just use the gizmo, And we don't have to mirror it actually, because it's already in a mirror. So you can just make the sphere smaller, and you can push it like into, and that'll kind of give like you like a basis. It might even be cool to just add the lines if you don't want to do like specific like toes. But now you can sort of move it, and it sort of shows where the kind of feet are. I'll just validate it. And you can do things like if you want to shrink it, things like that. So that actually looks pretty good. So let's say we like that as a legs and stuff like that. Now noticing on the tail, this is like very, I just kind of want to change the shape a little bit. Yeah, just so it's something like that. Oh, let me turn this grid off. Okay. So I'm going to save. I like those legs. So now arms, we're going to pretty much do a similar thing. We might actually be able to use the legs. So let's label everything. So these are the thighs. We'll just call them legs. So those are the legs. These are feeties. You can call them feets or feet, whatever you fancy. All right, so we have some legs. So let's make some arms, and we'll try to do it pretty simply, just using a sphere and the drag tool to sort of stretch it. So we'll go ahead and add another sphere, and we can just call this arms. Okay, so let's use our gizmo. We can't see it right now, but it's there. We'll tap mirror, and then we'll open this up. So I'm going to make it kind of small because I want to make it sort of like his shoulder kind of thing, which would be probably around here. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to validate that, and then I'm going to use drag, and then I'm just going to stretch this down and kind of out. You might need to make it a little bit bigger. Stretch it out a little bit this way, and this I'm going to put into the body like that. I'll make this a little round. Why not? I think that looks pretty good. So now it's just like kind of resting on his leg, and we can actually use some shapes to make the fingers, I think. So we have the arms here. Let's add another sphere. And we don't need to validate it because it's already in a mirror. So we just need to bring it out, shrink it, and his fingers will be kind of by his legs. So we can do something like this. Maybe stretch it out a little bit, maybe make it a little bit smaller. So there we have one. Can clone it. So then we have two. Let's clone that again, and then we can try to make this the thumb. So maybe something like that. Okay. I'm going to mess around with this. Sometimes I like to just fart around and make sure the shape is how I want it. You know, when it goes into his little body. So that looks okay. Kind of like that. All right, so let's see. What else do we want to make? Oh, and I think I want to, we might use Boolean operations to trim everything away from the, like the fingers away from the legs. Actually, let's do that now. So let's take, so we have the arms and these are all the fingers. So these are great that they're all together. So we can just grab all of these and then we can validate them. So, and then we'll name this arms. All right, so that works pretty well. So let's take the thighs. We have the thighs and the feeties. And yeah, let's go ahead and do the same thing with this. So we'll validate them, join children. So these are the legs. So now we have the legs and the arms. And what we can do is we'll clone the legs and we'll hide regular legs. So just hide one of them. So now we have the legs and the arms. And we'll take the arms, we'll take the legs, and then on legs, we'll hide it as well. But notice that we, just so this doesn't get confusing, we have two legs, but only one of them is selected, but they're both hidden. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to use this leg that's hidden and selected. We're going to use it to crop out all of this extra finger and arm. So we're going to use that leg to just crop that out as a Boolean operation. So if you have problems dealing with these, like if you have problems selecting, then just go to advanced and uncheck these. But as long as you have this, we can do voxel remesh, and let's do voxel remesh at like 300. So we voxel remesh them together and see now it's perfect. It's just how we want it. So now you can smooth out the arm. Smooth out the arm a little bit. And then we're good to go. So now we can bring back our leg, because we have our leg here. All right, so next, I think we will block out the eyes, like the eye area. So let's just add some spheres. So we'll add some spheres, we'll mirror them. Let's use our gizmo. We'll bring them up. And we just need to put them kind of in the right position where his eyes would be. So they're kind of like in this area. Maybe a little bit smaller. So to me, that feels about right. Maybe a little bit higher, something like that. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I don't want them really touching each other on the top. I think that looks pretty good. We can do the same thing for the nose. So let's clone this. And let's name this one nose. Let's name this one eyes. So for the nose, we'll use our gizmo. Oh, so gizmo's down there. Pivot, reset, pivot. How did that not work? Oh, that's why, because I'm on the nose, not the sphere. You have to be on the sphere. It likes to play games. So let's get this nose going. We can move it closer. We can move it up. Make sure I hit right. A little bit smaller. And I'm going to stretch, and then I'm going to tilt because it feels right. Let's take a look from the front. I think that's pretty good from the front. Maybe you can move it a little bit closer. And also, I'm noticing that when I look at the head, I'm going to take drag because I feel like I just want this to be a little bit more pointy. I think. Okay, that's decent. And I also want to just give his lower jaw a little bit more roundness here. Okay, good. So what else do we need to block in? We have the tooth that we can do later. We have the ears, and we have these. These are pretty easy, so we can do those. Let's go ahead and validate these. Nose. We'll leave the eyes for now. Let's go to the head. Let's add a sphere. We use our gizmo. And he has 3 of them, so we'll just position them back here. This one's the smallest one. And we'll keep it on the body. So we'll shrink it. We'll stretch it. So we really don't even need much more than that. I'll validate it, and then you can sort of, if you want it to be a little bit more pointy, you can just kind of bend and pull it a little bit. Maybe you can use, actually, you know what I should do? When I validated it, I should hit symmetry. So let's use move, let's make it small, and then we can make it a little bit more pointy. Maybe a little bit more, oops. If you want something like that, I think I'd like it to be a little bit more curved. So I think I'll stick with something like that. We can make it a little smaller now. Maybe stretch it a little bit more. Then we have 1. So we'll clone. And we have 2. That looks pretty good. Clone it again. This one's a little bit smaller. Let's make this one bigger. Okay, I think I like that. Tail looks a little bit, let's smooth out the tail. Smidge. So I think that looks good. Oh, is the head too small? The head might be too small. I'm not sure. If you find that the head is too small, then you need to take the head, the eyes, the head, and the nose, and make that all bigger. Okay, that feels good. All right, so I think we can, I'm going to save. And I might use this to practice like the keyhole thing. So I'm going to save as, just so I have an extra one that I can go back to. All right, so we have the eyes there, the ears. How do I want to do the ears? Oh, these are the fins. So I'm going to join these together and then rename these fins. And then I want to make the ears. So let's add sphere. We'll mirror it. And we'll bring it all the way up. And these are going to be his ears. So we'll make it small. We're going to do one on each side. So we kind of have small ears. And let's flatten them. Let's flatten them this way. Stretch them out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and validate them, but we need to make them like, we need to sort of turn them. So maybe we'll use drag. There's a few ways. We can use select mask to mask off a part and then bend, but sometimes we can get away with kind of pushing them and kind of getting that shape. So see how I'm just kind of like pushing and pulling. And it kind of creates that shape that I think is pretty good for ears. I'll do it again in a second because I didn't think it was going to come out that good. I thought I was going to have to do it a few times, but it actually looks not bad. So let's get the placement right. So I think something like this looks pretty good. So the way that I did it, I'm just going to do another one just to show you, just so it's clear what I did. So here's the sphere. And all I did was flatten it like this. I'll make the whole thing a little bit smaller. So I flattened it like this. I'm going to validate this one. And then I use drag. I don't have symmetry on, so I'm just going to push on the middle. But notice how I kind of continue to push all the way through. So I'm just pushing and kind of making it sort of flat. And then I take the top and sort of fold it down. And it makes like a nice ear shape. And this one might actually even be better than the ones I made. But I like the one I made, but I just wanted to show you how I do it. I'll stick with the ones I made. And you can either do, maybe I'll just give him like 2 little horns. And you might be able to just clone the nose and label it horns. So I might be able to do that and then use gizmo, pivot, reset, pivot, and then move these back. We'll tilt them. Oh, are they touching? I think they are. I'm going to get rid of them because I don't want them to be touching. So I'm going to delete them and we'll just do it with 2 new spheres. So we'll mirror, bring them up, shrinky poo, open them up. We'll kind of put them here. We'll validate, and then we can just use drag, and we can just kind of drag them up. Pretty simple. So you can do that if you want those, or if you don't want those, you can delete them, and you can do. Let's see. Oh, we can do a tube. Oh, you know what? There's an easy way to do it. There's an easier way. promise there's an easier way. Are these the ears? Let's validate these ears. Do a quick save. So so let's just use a cylinder. We'll use our gizmo, we'll bring it up, shrink it. So one cool thing about the cylinder, let's stretch it. You can tap on where gizmo is, and now we can tap on the radius. We can make this wider, make this smaller. It doesn't have to be too wide, but maybe something like this. I'll just go ahead and validate it. And then we can move it, like if we want it back. I guess I'll just do it like the drawing. So if we want it something like that, we can turn symmetry on and just smooth it out. And then we can bend it with move. But I think I might want it like bending forward. I kind of want it like a what are they called? What are those fish called? Angler fish. So kind of like this, and then we can go ahead and add a sphere. We can validate it. I don't know where, there it is. We can shrink it and give them like a little something like this. Can make it bigger or smaller. I probably should have made this a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll just use smooth and just kind of smooth it out. Just kind of shrink it. Make sure symmetry's on so it does everything at a equal. And smooth it out. So let me have something like that. Which you can change or keep, or whatever you want. But I kind of like it. All right, so I think that's pretty it. I think that's pretty much it for the blocking. I think we're good for blocking. It's all blocked out, looking good. Shapes are looking pretty good. So now we can, before we go, remember that we need to trim the legs and the tail, and maybe not the body, but the tail for sure. So we'll take trim, rectangle, make sure that we're on right, and let's just trim right below. We don't want to go right up to the edge. We want to do it right below. Like that. We'll take the leg, and, whoops. And we'll do the same thing. Make sure not to go too high. Like that. So this way, if we get rid of the floor, it's still straight. Okay, so I want to try to make him good for 3D printing, because there's so many people that are doing printing. So I want to make sure that we make our little guy the best that we can, especially for 3D printing. So I think we can connect the tail and the body. But I think we want to put on the head. And maybe we want to collect the legs too. I'm not certain, but maybe we want to collect the legs as well. So the arms are good. Oh, you know what? I think I messed up on the arms. I don't think the arms are smoothed. They're not smoothed on this side. That's okay, I'll just smooth them. That's fine. But what I should have done when, at some point in time, the arms should have been on symmetry and they weren't when I was doing the smoothing. But that's okay. So one thing I really like is I like to add like skin folds, and I think it's a great place for you to plug in pieces of like your sculpt. So for example, the head, and of course we need to take all the things for the head, and actually we can nestle them together so we don't have to keep doing this. So we'll put the ears with the head, the cylinder, and the sphere. So this is the antennae. So I'm going to nestle these together, and let's call this antennae. I might change this, but for now we'll just keep it. We'll call it antennae 2. So now these are together. So we'll put this with the head, and then we have what else? So the nose, of course, and the eyes. So now all these are connected to the head. And I just want to move it up a little bit. Okay, so, and I want to take the head, and I want to take inflate. And we might need to subdivide it. So let's subdivide it. So we'll go here, we'll subdivide, and let's voxel remesh it at around 250. That way when we add inflate, it'll be a little bit more, it'll be better. So now I want to do the inflate kind of around here. Kind of like that, and I'm just going to smooth it out a bit. So I kind of think that's interesting looking. I kind of like it. I want to separate, oh actually I kind of put these together, but I want to do the same thing for the body. So I think now is a good time to, do I want to add the tail? I'm not sure. Not certain. Well, let's take the body and voxel remesh it at 250. I'm going to take rounded edge and just round it out. So I see a little bit of a few ripples. So I'm going to take inflate, and I want to inflate around the arms for sure. Like so. We'll take smooth and we'll just kind of smooth that out. And maybe around the tail as well. Whoop. You want to do it in a smooth pattern. Whoop. I keep, for some reason, moving away from the tail. I think I should just go up and then back. So maybe something like this. You can smooth it out. And I kind of want to do them around the little fins too. Make it a little smaller. So we'll do something like that. We can smooth them out. I like it. All right, so I don't know. I think I might want to just add the tail, because we could plug it in, but I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to, but I'm not sure. Okay, so the arms, the legs, the head we can definitely do. So let's take the body. I really need to figure out if I want to merge the body. I think I do. So I think I'm going to merge the legs. Okay, so let's merge the legs, the body, the tail. The fins I might want to make a different color. So those might actually be cool to plug in. Interesting. Interesting. It's actually kind of fun, sort of trying to figure all this out. Okay, so let's take the body, the legs, the tail, because I know those are going to be going together. Oh, and the feeties too. Oh, I think I already connected them. We already connected them with the legs. So we'll take all of these. I'm going to do a quick save. And then let's voxel remesh them together at like 400. Because we want to keep this detail. Okay, so now the legs are connected. So we can sort of smooth them out a little bit. Symmetry's on. Okay. So this looks good. The bottom looks good. That all looks good. Great. So now we need to take the body and we need to do a Boolean operation for the arms, the fins, and the head. But I don't think we need to do that now. I think we can pause on that for now. But let's make sure that this is called the body. Okay, so for the face, so his cheek is here, so that's important. So let's take clay and let's make the cheek here. And notice I'm just kind of curving it just to kind of like make it easier for myself. There, so the cheek is there. We can go ahead and smooth. Now let's do a mouth, a mock mouth. So we want to use this little crease, and then we'll go around, we'll go up with the crease. So we'll do that, and we'll do this, and we'll go up with the crease. So now we have his head, but one thing I don't like is the shape of it. So I'm going to take drag, and I'm going to spread it out. Make his mouth a little bit wider. Okay, I like that a bit better. And I want to make this a little bit rounder as well. Okay, I like that. Do I want this to come down a little bit lower? Yeah, I kind of like that. So let me just smooth some of this out. You know, I like to smooth, keep my meshes nice and smooth. Okay, so let's do the eyes. We gotta kind of connect this head together and put all this stuff together. Still not sure if I want the antennae. So with the eye, I'm gonna go ahead and validate. Let's take flatten. So let's flatten out kind of down here on the eye. Oop. Let's make sure that this is mirrored. Okay, it is. Since it's mirrored, everything should be happening on the other side. Great. So what we'll do here is just we'll just kind of flatten it. And we'll just make this into like the eye socket. And I kind of don't mind putting it on a little bit of an angle. Something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth that out. So I think that looks pretty good. So now I want to use another sphere to make the actual eyes. So let's go here. Let's go to the head. We'll add another sphere. Gizmo. Where's the gizmo? There it is. You can mirror it. We'll make it smaller and then we'll expand. And we have to figure out how to turn this into those nice, beautiful, slanted eyes that he has, which I like a lot. So the way to do that is it's actually the cheek that's doing most of that work, making the eyes slanted. Whoop. So let's push it in. And we're doing it, it's not bad. We're actually doing pretty good, pretty well. So I'm going to validate those eyes, and I'm going to use clay and turn symmetry on and subtract. So we're on the head now, and I just want to sort of take this away a bit. So now we sort of have it. It's not quite what we want, but it's decent. You can take clay on, as long as you're on the head, you can add more to the cheek. And by adding more to the cheek, we can sort of get that nice shape that we want. So we get that, and let's just take drag, because you can sort of shape this stuff too. So I'm going to drag this out like this. We'll take the eye, and we can even stretch it like so, because that gives us like the perfect shape. Now the only other thing is, if we look at it from here, the eye is slanted a little more up, so I might have to just drag this up. Oops. We'll go to the head and just bring the smile up a little bit. If we want to get that like sort of straight line. So let's smooth all this out, see what we got. Still looks really, really good, I think. So the only thing is I want to just drag a little bit more down here, a little bit more up here. See how we kind of shape that eye? Looks good from the front too, I think. Okay, so now I think we should Oh, let's get the nose as well. So for the nose, let's take clay, we'll take sub. So let's tap on the nose, and we can probably just we can kind of get rid of some of this. Just keep it simple. And we can take drag and maybe we want to drag it. Give it a little bit of shape. Like that. Maybe flatten off the front parts. I think that's nice. I like it. And you can feel free to shape it as you want. If you want to come out a little bit more, maybe come out on the sides like that. I think I might just like round. And also, just you might want them a little bit more forward or back. I don't know where the gizmo is. Pivot, reset, pivot. So gizmo just has a mind of its own. So maybe a little bit more on the front of the nose. And also, you have to pay attention to the shape of the head. So you might want this to, like, you know, poke out a little bit more. I think that looks great. All right, cool. I like it. You know what else would be nice? We take inflate. You know, I have a lot of fun making these because I just have a lot of fun making these. You know? So if I do something like this and then I do another one here, I don't know how that would look. I kind of like it, actually. I don't know if it works for like the belly. I actually think clay might work a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, not sub though. Because clay kind of gives like a flatter profile. So I kind of like that idea, but I don't know. It might be better just to use crease and do some of these across the belly. That might be the smarter decision. But we'll see. But I did come up with an idea. So we do have to do the, if I paint this, the color I want to be different on the belly. So we will use crease. Let me just show you my crease settings. Pinch force. Here's these settings. Alpha settings, which are, I think, just normal. Here's fall off. So that is this one. But you can feel free to try out the other ones. That's the one I'm using right now. Filter, all I have is that. Pressure, of course, should be like this. So I think for the belly and all that stuff, I think I just want to use something like this. We'll go up and then come around, and then maybe something like that feels good. And then we can take the head. We can use this and then come around. I think they look great. Okay, so now let's kind of put the head together. So the one thing that I was thinking is The head is actually pretty good, solid. We want to do a Boolean operation with the head and the body. So basically that means we're going to have to remesh the body again. So let's take the head and we'll just clone it. I'm going to call this one head X because that's the one we're going to get rid of. So now we have head X and we have the body. So I'm going to do a quick save. We have head X and we have the body. And maybe we should do the same thing with the fins, actually. Although the fins probably should be reversed. Maybe the fins should be reversed. So let's clone the body and call it body X. So this body X and the fins. So we'll hide body X and it will take it away from the fins. But should I do the keyhole things now? That's the question. That's what I'm wondering. Or should I do them later? Not too sure. I know for the body, I just want to kind of increase these little inflations. Smooth them out, but I just want to kind of increase them. Okay, so now we have body. Oh, I need to make a new body X. Clone. So now this one is going to be body X. We have the fins. And I need to make holes in the body as well. So first, let's take the fins and the body. We'll hide body X, and we'll voxel remesh. We're just going to stick to 400. Okay, so these are the fins. So these should just be flat now when I pull them out. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm going to solo the fins. And I want to, now we just need to add like a little peg or something. Do I want to use a cylinder or do I want to use a square? So let's add, maybe a cylinder's good. So let me unsolo it. Just take a look at the fins. There we go. Okay, so now I just need to make the pegs so that everything will stay in place. So I'm thinking something like this. I think that's good. So I'm going to clone it and put it here as well. I don't think it really matters where. So we'll do it like that, and then hopefully this same size will work on the bottom one as well. don't know, maybe I should put it towards the top. I'm trying to think if I had like a little thing and I wanted to plug something in. I feel like I might want to plug it in towards the top. Make this one a little bit smaller. Okay, good. So let's just say that these are the pegs and the fins. So we'll take these. I'm going to do a save. And I'm going to voxel remesh this together at 400. So it should still have the detail. Good. So now these are pieces that are together. We can unsolo. It should be pretty good. So I need to do the same thing with the head. So I need to take the head shape and I need to put a peg on it so we can go in the body. So let's just do the details on the body first, just in case. I feel like it makes sense to do that first. So let's do this line going across. That was pretty good. I can live with that. We'll do one here. We'll do one down here. Oop. And you know what? No one will really see this, but just for the sake of detail, put one down there as well. And you know what? Maybe we'll give them a little. Maybe I should do that at the end. Give him his little belly button that I always do for my characters. Okay, so for the arms, they're going to plug into the body. Okay, so the body is good. The legs are attached. So I need to cut out the body shape from the arm and the head. So let's take body and we'll clone it and we'll make this one body X. So we have body X. And I want to hide the original body. So we have body X and we have the head. So, and oh, what was the other one? The head and the arms. I don't see arms anywhere. Okay, so we'll need to rename this arms. We'll put them up near body X. Well, this is head X. Where's the other head? Oh, here's the other head. I don't know if I made any changes, so I'm going to delete head X. And I'm going to make another clone. And I'm going to make that head X. So we'll move it down. So here's the arms. I don't think I need head X though, right? I don't think I need it. I think we just need body X. So body X, arms, and head. Hide body X. So it's going to trim from the head and the arms. That's exactly what we need. I'll do a quick save. And then I'll voxel remesh at 400. And we'll remesh. Okay, great. So now everything is cut. So now we can add some pegs to these things. So cylinder, I'll go ahead and validate it. Stretch it out. Move it forward. I think that's pretty good. As long as it's in, inside the head. I don't actually think it needs to be that long. So we have a peg for the head, and we just need some pegs for the arms. So we'll add another cylinder. But this one will mirror. We'll make it nice and small. We'll stretch it out. Okay, so we want these to go inside. So something like this. I think that would be perfect. They're not showing. So now we can take the head. We need to voxel remesh the head and the arms. Not together. We just need to voxel remesh. These are together now, aren't they? I guess that's okay. We can trim it later. But we want to add together the ears, the nostrils, and these parts, this part. It would be nice if I could plug the eyes into, color the eyes a different color and plug them in. I don't know if that'll work though. So I know for sure I want to take the head, the ears, the nose, okay, which cylinder is this? Okay, the cylinder. These two cylinders. And what are these? Where's the... Oh, the arms are already connected. So I think just those, the cylinder. So just not the eyes. I don't know what these are. Oh, those are the eyes. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I want to put all these together. So I'm going to voxel remesh. I'll do a quick save. And now I'm going to voxel remesh those pieces together at 400. So now this should be connected. All these are connected. Good. Oh man, those are really looking a bit rough around the edges. But I think those can just be sanded. I think those can just be sanded. Okay, so I think it looks good. Oh no, but of course, whatever this shape was, this silly sphere. So I'm going to go back. And I'm going to label these. So these are the eyes. These arm pegs. Arm pegs. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to validate these. So we have the head. We have the head and the ears. Can I just join them for now? Head. We have the antennae, which I don't know if I want to even keep together. So I'll just hide it for now. I'm going to validate these. These are the eye sockets. The eye sockets, the nose, all this stuff is going to be joined with the head. This cylinder is going to be joined. The arm pegs are going to be joined. So I'm going to voxel remesh this whole thing at 400. That was better. I'm going to do a little bit higher. I'm going to go 425. Should have saved. Save now. Okay, so now this should be together. I can smooth this out a bit. It's looking good. The nostrils are together. Oh, I didn't have symmetry. Gotta have symmetry. Gotta have symmetry going. Okay, so I would like to plug in the eyes, to print the eyes separately and plug them in. So makes it garbage. It still turns it into garbage. Or maybe that would be something that would be better in a different app. Anyway, so for now that's kind of an issue, but okay, so we'll just leave this for now. Because I'm getting way too hung up on the head. I'm just going to delete that one. But he's looking good. Oh, the arms. How are the arms looking? Smooth the arms out a little bit. The fins. Fins are looking pretty good. Smooth out in there as well. So we'll smooth out both. I'd be so curious to see if this works. If it actually works. That would be kind of cool. Okay. Ears are together. These are together. Can probably push them in a little bit more. Same with the arms. Oh, that's right. The arms are connected. So what I wanted to do was take split and split the arms. Okay, so now we can just sort of make some details here. I did want to make some teeth coming out. So let's add another sphere. Mirror it. Make them a little smaller. Pretty good. So then I'll just use drag to sort of shape it a little bit. Okay, that looks good. All right, so we'll take the head, and we just need to kind of work on these details a little bit. I don't think there's anything else I need to do for the head, to be honest. Just gonna make these details look nice. Maybe we'll give him a little bit of a lip here. Definitely inflate around this. And just a little bit down here to make it look like it's a strong tooth that won't just fall out. Maybe, if it looks good. Might have to scrap it if it doesn't. And we can actually take, I've never used like the reverse inflate. I don't know if I've ever actually used it in a sculpt. Let's do crease, go back over this. I don't know if I like that line there. I do like the, oh, you know what I might be able to use pinch. I might be able to use pinch to just make a nice plane. Yeah, that looks good. Those planes, baby. Those planes. I think that all looks pretty good. I don't think I have to do much there. Eye looks pretty good. Eyes are going to be black. So I might not have to do the eyebrow or the eyelash like I always do. I think he looks pretty good. If I'm honest. I think we did a pretty good job. I don't think I like the antenna. I don't think he needs it. I don't think there's any other details that I wanted to add. I think he looks really good as is. Everything is huge though. It's the only problem. Let's decimate. Everything is a little too big. just made everything. How big are these eyes? Oh, the eyes are huge. Decimate those twice. Oh, I'm getting some ideas for the tail. Now I'm just kind of having fun. Don't I always? Let's mirror this. You guys know what's coming. I like it. I feel like it doesn't make the 3D sculpt any easier, or print any easier, but cooler, maybe. It's clone. I feel like it has to have two if it's gonna have. Make them a little closer together. Ooh, I love that. I love it, I love it, I love it. They would be cool as plugins, though. They would be kind of cool as plugins. Maybe we'll have to make them plugins. So let's turn on symmetry. We have inflate. We don't want sub. Create. Give this a little smooth action. I think that's wonderful. So if I take these, no, I need to make this shape first. That's what I need to do. So I need to take the body, clone the body, validate these. These are the tail horns. Do a quick save. So what I'm doing now is I need to cut out the shape of the horns, or the shape of the body and the horns. So I need to voxel remove. I've been doing 450, right? So I need to cut these. Perfect. Then I need to add some more cylinders. Mirror, since they're the same. And we'll just position these. Okay, so now we'll clone. I want to make it so they don't feel like they're going to break when they go in. They probably won't. Resin is usually pretty strong, but there we go. All right, so now we have all of these. Validate them. These are the fins. This is the, oh, that's what we need. So these two, do a quick save. I want to validate together. Put these together around 400. Okay, so now we have body. And now those should fit. I mean, they should fit. Really probably need to really smooth them, but smooth them anyway. Okay. Everything else is good. This would be nice as a plug-in too, but I don't know if I want to do that with the head. I think I'm going to give up on plugging in stuff. Just keep the head as is. All right, so with the legs, I don't think I smoothed the legs out. Smooth the legs out, and let's add a nice little crease to the feet, the feeties. It's good. Yeah, I'm very happy with them, actually. I would like to add a little bit of an inflate over the eye, since our master plan did not work, unfortunately. Okay, cool. Part of me wants to add another little detail. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I literally cannot help it. What is this? What is this mirror? Oh, is that the... Wait, what is that? Oh, that's the teeth. Validate these teefies. Okay. These I think I can decimate. Oh, so I need to add... I need to do the reverse. So I need to take the... This is the actual head. I need to take the head. So I'm going to clone the head, the arms. And I need to clone... So I need to make like the places where the peg goes. So I need to take the head, the arms, and these things, and the fins. Fins, so I'm going to clone all of these ones. And actually just join them together. So is this the horns too? Where are the horns? Oh, here's the horns. Oh, I can just join this, join these. Oh, I need to clone it though. These are the horns. Horns. And I'm going to clone it. And this one I'm going to add with these. So if I get rid of fins, horns. Okay, so now the body is what we're going to carve out the places that these things can go. So the arms is what we want to get rid of. So if I hide this, we still have fins, we still have horns. What about the arms? Did I not? Well, I'll just clone this and hide it, just in case. So we have the body. So these two, all these need to go away. Oh, and the head needs to go away as well, doesn't it? It does. So I'm going to clone the head. Oh, I thought the head was part of it. I'm so confused. Oh, it is. Sorry, that's confusing. That was really confusing. So all of this needs to go away. All of this stuff. Hide. I'll do a quick save. And then we'll voxel remesh. I'll do this one at like 500. So there should be some holes in these things. There's some holes, baby. There are holes. Now I want to smooth these because I want these to be a little bit wider. Maybe I should just use drag. And just kind of open them up a little bit. So I'm just going to make them all a little bit wider. Oh, and you know what? Maybe I'll make the other parts a little bit smaller. I thought smooth would actually make more room, but it doesn't look like it does. What does relax do? I never really use relax. I don't know what it does. It never has done anything for me. Yeah, I think drag is my best option. Just make the spaces a little bit bigger. Okay, I think I did all of these. The arms. Just widen it a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And this, maybe I'll even like be fancy and do a little like flatten job. Can widen it up a little bit. Want to make sure we can get that head in there. So I think that should be, I think that should work. So now I'll, not solo, let's bring back, is it the head? We can bring back all of these. So we have the head, we have the horns, fins. It's just the arms. So let's separate this. Find the arms. join these, name these arms. Don't tell me I already had arms. Oh no, this is the body. I think I'm going to officially get rid of the antennae. Oops. Of course, I clone it by accident. I feel like I want this to be a little bit more pronounced. If I'm going to make it, I'm going to have it there. And I want to take crease and sub because I want a better crease up here. I'll just smooth it out a little bit. I think that looks good. I'll use regular crease and just make, I feel like I can make this a little darker. Okay, all seems good. And now I can re-decimate, I think. Body, decimate that, it's quite big. Arms are okay. Head, I can probably, I'll leave it. 697 isn't too bad. I'll just leave it for now. Okay, good. So let's bring the floor back. I think the floor was like huge, right? Yeah. Definitely doesn't need to be that big. You know what? I'm going to decimate it again. What about these eyes? Let's bring the eyes down. I'm going to get below 600. T-fees. Bring those down too. Yeah, let's get below 600. Okay. And he's looking good. So let's move this back some. And actually, we should just do like something a little bit better for him to be standing on, because I don't think this really works that well. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's do snap and flip it. Let's shrink it a little bit more. Oh, I guess it needs to be flat, doesn't it, because of the tail. Let's go ahead and delete it. Let's add this good old cylinder. I wonder if I bring the divisions down and I turn smooth shading off on that. So I probably can't smooth it then, can I? Ooh. answer is no. That's interesting. It's really interesting. We'll round edge it. It really does not want to get smooth. The real problem is I shouldn't be experimenting at this point in time. That's the real issue. Yes, I like it. Let's give him a stone. We'll do pinch. Give it a nice little pinch, little stone here. Maybe we'll do a little clone job on this little guy, since he looks so nice. And we have some little rocks there for him. Why not? Join rocks. This will be the floor. Nice. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Save. Floor is 50K. It's unneeded. Rocks are 18K. Unneeded. I forgot that we still have to like color him and do all that stuff. But I think he looks good. He's definitely good enough to print. So I think in another video, maybe I'll color him. But I'm very curious if anyone is able to print him, or if you, maybe I'll just have this file. I'll upload this file so people can just download the file. So you can either make it or you can just download the file. But only you guys will know that it's free somewhere. I'll have to figure out where I can post it for free. But I think that looks pretty cool. Let's add let's just do lit PBR. Let's take everything and just do like, I actually really like that like terracotta color. Let's just add a light here. Turn on perspective. Okay, so we have one light. We'll add another light. Over here, we'll turn this one down a little bit. Did I turn the environment off? Oh, I did, okay. What did I do to this light? I feel like I moved it by accident. There we go. Now let's brighten this up a little bit. And now let's add one in the back looking this way. This is only because I need something for the thumbnail. But actually he looks better from like, he looks better as a, let's add this view, whatever this is. So let's move this and let's point it like that. Yes. Is this the main one? No, this is the one. Oh, let's delete this one for now. That's the main one. Okay, that's good. Now we have light. And then it gets a bit dark to allow for the rim light to look nice. Which we can increase a bit. And then we'll just do a nice little top down. Just keep it nice and simple. Oop. Maybe we'll even make it a little cool. I'll just make the background a little bit darker. Cool. I like it. I think it looks good. Do we want to make it, do we want to make the body and all this stuff subsurface? Usually makes things better. Kind of cool to make the eyes a little bit darker. Give it a little pep. Maybe even the rocks be a little bit darker. Yes, I love it. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna leave this as is. Save. Yeah, there we go. Keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video where I will color him.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, really helps my channel out. Definitely check out my Skillshare classes. I have 2D classes in Procreate and 3D classes in Nomad Sculpt. Keep drawing, keep sculpting, and I'll see you all in the next video.
All right.